And welcome to Wrestling Days Live. We are live for a very special watch along. This one is special. It's quite different. It's quite short. It's not a very long watch along. This is an hour and a half, and it's for a very interesting show. This was an experiment that kind of went wrong. WWE back in 1991 wanted to see if they could just throw a pay-per-view out there on a Tuesday. And they wanted to see if they could get, or what would happen if they could get good views. What would happen if they did a show in the middle of the week like that. So this is coming just a few days after Survivor Series. And had this have been a success, because sadly it wasn't, but had this have been a success, we could have seen a lot more of these kinds of shows. So I've got to say, sitting here now in 2020, I'm really disappointed that it didn't take off. I'm really disappointed that it wasn't more of a success, because who knows what we would have got, you know? Who knows what matches that we would have been able to have seen. I'm sure a lot of them happened anyway. Any major matches will have happened, but it's just interesting to think about, you know? What could we have seen? What would they have given us? Would we have had Wednesday night in Wisconsin? I don't know. We can but dream. So, yes, I am very, very much looking forward to this. There's only 5 matches on this show, but big names. Big names. The main event of this is Hulk Hogan versus The Undertaker. As well as that, we've got Macho Man taking on Jake the Snake. And that was a red-hot feud as well. We've got British Bulldog in action, taking on the Warlord. Both of those guys absolutely jacked. I mean, literally. And Bret Hart's in action. They really do ram this card. They try to make it a success, but it just doesn't quite work. Shout out to everyone that is joining us. Hope you are all well. Jason P, shout out to you, my friend. The streak continues. 101, says Malik. Yes, this is day 101 for streaming. The streak will end tomorrow with NXT and AEW, because I have got, and I've said this before, I've got more than just one eye on the big UFC show this weekend. UFC 251. Absolutely huge. So, yes, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on this for now. So, I've given you a few minutes. I hope that for those of you that haven't found it, you've found it. And we've got a few facts and figures and things to talk about. I really do like this show, by the way. I've seen it a couple of times. We can get into that once we get started. So, I'll just give people a few more moments to find it on the network. It's called This Tuesday in Texas. I mean, they've put 1991. To my knowledge, there's only one. This Tuesday in Texas. They never did it again. There wasn't like This Tuesday in Texas 1992 or anything. In fact, it wouldn't be until the early 2000s they would do a show on Tuesday again. Taboo Tuesday. And I was debating which one to go for. I was like, oh, we could do Taboo Tuesday. But I went with this one because it's got some big names. It's a nice little convenient time as well. About this one should be. It's an all right show. It's an all right show. So, I've been waiting for this for so long, says Swamp Manor. Sunny Wolf, shout out to you. Swerve versus Johnny Gargano has been announced for tomorrow. Okay. Do you prefer the new US or the old US? I like the new one, but there is, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, there's a new US title at the time of recording this. First time that the design has changed in 17 years. And I gave my thoughts on the video that went out. I mean, it was in the watch along, but I did a separate video as well. And just to, you know, kill a little more time whilst we're waiting for people to find this and to find us. I still haven't told anyone we're here, by the way, on Twitter. No one knows. So, whatever. But, yeah, I do like it. Do you know, I've had a bit of time to look at it. I think I'm going to stick with my 7. My initial reaction was 7 out of 10. I could go to like a 7.25 out of 10, something like that. But I don't think that it is equal to the IC title after really looking at it now. There's one thing that bugs me, and I said this on Twitter, and I'm sure a lot of you will have seen it. But if you look at the new belt, you've got an eagle. It says the word champion, United States champion. It's got the stars at the top, and it's got stripes at the bottom, okay? Now, and it's got a bit of a bend in the middle, which is kind of cool. Kind of different. That's all right. So yeah, it's a nice belt. It looks cool. It's got some detail on. There's an eagle on there. It's got loads of detail on the wings, like all the feathers, and it's just like really nice. But next to the eagle's head, there's these two spaces, and it really looks like something's fallen off. Like, I don't want to ruin the belt for anyone, right? But I can't not look at that now. Whenever I look at the belt, I can't not look at that bit. Because, like, it's nicely detailed, the stuff all over, and then you've got the eagle's head. And just either side of the eagle's head are these two spaces that just feel strange to me. It really feels like it needs the stripes, the red and white stripes there. Honestly, it feels like a little piece has come away or something. It's got broken in transport. So yeah, I keep looking at that going, oh man, I wish it's such a little thing, but I can't stop looking at it. So yeah, I wish they would just tweak it. But I'm definitely getting Super Bowl vibes from the new belt. I love the eagle and the detail on the eagle. It's got like a real, it does feel a bit like Super Bowl, American Diner, license plate. It's got that kind of vibe. Like, it conjures up all that. If I look at it, and those are the inspirations, if you will. Like, if someone said, can you make me an American championship? I want you to think of a Super Bowl ring. I want you to think of like a license plate. I want you to think of, just America, eagle, flag. Like, I can see all of the inspirations. So I don't think it's a bad change. I think it could have been a disaster, and this is not a disaster. So I'll say I prefer the new one for now, but I would just tweak it. Reminds me a little bit actually of I know I've just gone off on one now. I wasn't planning on having this conversation, but I don't know if you remember The Rock revealed a WWE championship that said that I think it was the one that Daniel won. I think it might have been the one that Daniel won at WrestleMania 30. He won two belts because at the time, like, they had two separate belts, World Heavyweight and WWE. So Daniel won them both, right? And that design, it's very similar to what we have now, but it's got a big champion at the bottom, and that belt was made by Orange County Choppers. And I'm getting that kind of a vibe from it as well. So yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, right, let's put it to one side, shall we? We're not here to talk about the new United States Championship. We're here to talk about this Tuesday in Texas. So, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. Right, now to give you some backstory on this. Undertaker faced Hulk Hogan at Survivor Series 1991. Ric Flair came down with a chair, put a chair in the ring. Undertaker tombstoned Hulk Hogan on top of that chair, and he became WWE champion. This is Undertaker's first championship reign right here. So this is after Survivor Series, and you'll see The Undertaker in a second, and he'll have the winged eagle. He'll have the belt. This is just a year after he came in as well, you know. He debuted at Survivor Series 1990. Here he is with the belt at Survivor Series 1991. And tonight, we're going to see the rematch. So we've got Paul Bearer talking at the moment. Shout out to XD Moses. Day's quick question: what is the first pay-per-view you've ever streamed live? I honestly don't know. Is the answer. I know I wanted to do WrestleMania 34, and I couldn't get it all set up, and I was struggling with it. Like, setting up streaming's not the easiest thing when you don't know what you're doing. Hulkamania died at Survivors. Mean Gene looked inside a coffin then, because we are backstage and there's coffins. And Undertaker just opened it and he says, look, Undertaker, Hulkamania died at Survivor Series. And you've just got a camera inside. And Mean Gene peers in and he goes, ooh, I don't know what's in there. I've got no idea what's in there. Ooh. In my mind, it's a mannequin of Hulk Hogan or something. That would be cool. Tuesday in Texas. So, a lot of people, like, say this is a rubbish name. A lot of people say that the name is stupid. I really like it. I really like it. I know, like, this Tuesday in Texas isn't brilliant after the event. But, man, if you're, like, if it's the weekend and coming up you've got this Tuesday in Texas, that's exciting. And it tells you everything you need to know. It's this Tuesday, and it's coming from Texas. A little bit of lag. Hello, Chalmers. Hope you are well. James says, I can't even remember seeing this show. Days, what's your thoughts on Andre the Giant on Battlegrounds? He looks good. He looks good. Pablo Gamer, shout out to you. I've got to tell you that we've got Macho Man against Jake the Snake. You might remember at this time, Jake made the snake bite Macho Man. We'll talk about it when we get to it. But it was a real big feud that they actually saved for this. Macho Man Jake the Snake never took place at Survivor Series. They saved it for this show. So they really did try to make this a big deal. Right, Bret Hart is making his way down. Skinner is already in the ring, so a jobber entrance for Skinner. I'm looking forward to Extreme Rules. It should be good. Holy mackerel, it's deafening in here. There were 8 dark matches on this. There was, yes. I mean, the reason why there was 8 dark matches is because they was only giving you an hour and a half here. You know, if you think a normal pay-per-view would be, what, 2.5 hours? So there's a whole hour that the crowd saw that we never saw. So, yes, you are right. There was 8 dark matches. They were, let me just read them out. The Harris brothers against Brian Costello and Brian Donahue. Sir Charles, right? Sir Charles, I didn't know this. Sir Charles was the second match against Dale Wolf. And Sir Charles is Papa Shango and Godfather. How crazy is that? So, yeah, he was on this show. I didn't even know he was with WWE at this point. This is 1991. And this is 1991. This is what, November time? December. This is December 3rd. Just a month later, he would be turned into Papa Shango. So, but in the second dark match on this, he is Sir Charles against Dale Wolf. Chris Walker against Brian Lee. I really don't know a great deal about those two. I think Brian Lee did go on to TNA. We've got Chris Chavis versus JW Storm. I mean, look, this is not... You can see these early matches are not stacked with, like, big names or even people I've heard of. Greg Valentine against the Brooklyn Brawler. There we go. Now we're getting better. Greg Valentine, Brooklyn Brawler. Nasty Boys against the Bushwhackers. Legion of Doom against the Beverly Brothers. And then the final dark match, match number 8, Ric Flair versus Rowdy Roddy Piper. That would have been really good to have seen, actually. I would like to have watched that match. So yeah, 8 dark matches. Bret Hart is starting us off here. Bret Hart is the Intercontinental Champion. So as we said, just a few days before was Survivor Series 1991. And Bret Hart, IC champion here, taking on Skinner. I can tell you that this got a very low buy rate. I think it got about 400,000, which I don't think's too bad, to be honest. 400,000 bought it. They did $100,000 in ticket sales. There was 8,000 people there, and yeah, as we've just said, 8 dark matches, and it's kind of a show that people do talk about, but it doesn't really get the recognition that it deserves because, unfortunately, it is seen as a flop. Nice hip toss there by the Hitman. Skinner is down. This should be a pretty standard affair, although saying that, Bret Hart matches are normally entertaining. And it might be fun for those of you that have never seen Skinner before. I liked Skinner's gimmick. Shout out to Elaine. Hope you are well. You're getting confused. Dave, shout out to you. Was it before Survivor Series or after? This was after Survivor Series. This was after. So, yeah, this came after Survivor Series. Survivor Series, November 27th. This was December 3rd. And the main event of Survivor Series was... Well, actually, they were Survivor Series matches that main evented, but the match that was the main event, but not the last match, was Hulk Hogan against Undertaker. And Undertaker wins the title. The rematch is set for here. As I said, you know, they saved big matches for this. Macho against Jake the Snake. They did that massive rematch of Hulk Hogan, Undertaker. That was here as well. So, I mean, they did try. They did try. Some nice hammerlocks back elbow there by Bret Hart. Shout out to Anton Taylor. Shout out to Walid. Hope you are well. Colin, hope you are well, my friend. You've only missed 8 minutes. Although this isn't the longest show. But it should be enjoyable. It should be a lot easier to watch than King of the Ring 98. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. So, both guys up on their feet. Headbutt by Skinner. And a rake of the eyes as well. He's got the Hitman and he hurls him into the corner. Shoulder first. The Hitman goes into the ring post. So, Bret Hart in a little bit of trouble here. I liked Skinner because he used to chew like tobacco and everything. So, like, his mouth was always like black and gross. And I mean, he wasn't a great wrestler. He was a brawler. Do you know what I mean? He was a brawler. He was kind of the next level up from the Brooklyn Brawler. They actually gave Skinner some wins. No worries, Jerry Smith. Shout out to you. I got the black and white Scott Hall Mattel exclusive. It's one of my holy grails. That's amazing, dude. Shout out to you. That's great. Dave says the Savage Roberts is fire. Their feud was fierce. Yeah, it was great feud. You might remember at SummerSlam, it was Match Made in Heaven, which was the marriage between Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth, and Jake and Undertaker invaded the wedding. And we saw at the reception, I think they open a box and a snake comes out. And yeah, they start beating up Macho at his wedding reception. So that's how the feud starts. And then we go to, as we said, Survivor Series. They don't do the match there. You would think that this big build, the payoff, would be at Survivor Series, but they delay it. And I don't know why this didn't work. That feud was fire. A nice abdominal stretch by Skinner. Chris DeZuba, shout out to you. Heather says, oh my gosh, when did you start streaming? And how did I miss it? I don't know. Perhaps YouTube's not sending out notifications. I tell you what, I'm not too worried about this stream. This is Just a little something. I mean, normally we'd be doing NWA, but they're not around on a Tuesday. So it gives us an opportunity to watch a show that, honestly, I don't know that I never thought we would get a chance to watch it. But, yeah, it's really cool that we are. Face first goes the Hitman into that top turnbuckle. Here we go. Skinner hurling Brett over to the other side. Knee up and Skinner goes down. Skinner goes down. Bret Hart goes to that middle rope. Drops the elbow, but Skinner moves out the way. This might be the best match that Skinner ever had. That spitting his tobacco into that can. And he grabs a claw. It's like a necklace thing that he wears. It's like an alligator claw. If they ever make a Skinner Mattel figure, I hope it comes with that. He's saying to the ref, look, I hit him with my elbow. I didn't use the claw. Stupid ref. Bret Hart in a bit of trouble here. Days, what's happening with the NWA? Any inside news? No, I don't know anyone there. Mr. Lagana used to jump into our chat a little bit, but obviously he's not with them anymore. So no, I don't know anything. Because Randy wasn't active, he was awaiting reinstatement at losing at WrestleMania 7. This is actually his return match. Yes, you're right. He lost at against the Warrior at WrestleMania 7, which was earlier in 91. Technically, it was the Macho King that lost. I do love that. I love the fact it was the Macho King that lost, but it's Macho Man that comes back. It's kind of a cheeky little... Do you know what I mean? It was, yeah, the Macho King lost, but I'm the Macho Man. I've seen this pay-per-view a few times now. I remember when it was first on, says Dave in real life. Here we go. Skinner going for the cover. I thought that was a good cover. I don't know why the ref wasn't counting. I think the ref could see there was a choke that was being applied as well. But what I like is Skinner's doing anything and everything he can to win this match. How much would Skinner work in the Wyatt family? Look at Skinner here. Aren't you just getting like Harper or Rowan vibes from Skinner? If the Wyatt family was around in 91, Skinner would be a part of it. Maybe they should bring Skinner back just to be a part of the Wyatt family. He could be in the swamp. Here we go, double axe handle. And again. I should imagine that Bray probably knows Skinner. Because obviously he grew up in the business. His dad being IRS. 1, 2. Yeah, very nonchalant pin. He didn't even hook the leg. Skinner there. Kick out by the Hitman. This is a way better match than what I remember, actually. I don't remember it being... I never remembered a Skinner match that was this good. Do you know what I mean? Brett's in trouble here. The crowd are really into it. Skinner on the middle rope. Bret Hart down. Gets his leg up. Skinner goes into that leg. Off the top. He's wobbly. Looking for a double axe handle, but straight to the midsection by the Hitman. Headbutt. Skinner down. To one knee, goes over to the corner. Against the ropes goes Skinner. Nice back elbow. It's good. Dave Skinner's the long-lost Wyatt family member, yes. I can't remember seeing the snake biting Macho. Didn't know. Oh, I can remember seeing the snake biting Macho. I didn't know it was from the show. It's not this show. It's in the build to this. I think, was it Wrestling Challenge? I think it took place on. It was their weekly taped show. So, that kind of was the build towards this. Suplex. 1, 2. Just a 2 count for Brett. Brett coming back into this now. Mid-card Brett in the house, says Rashad, yes. Wow, this was 91. I lived in Texas in 91, and I didn't even know about this pay-per-view. Oh, don't worry. It seems like quite a few people didn't know about it. WWE wouldn't do another Tuesday pay-per-view until the early 2000s. Elbow by Brett. He tries to get the pin. People are into this match. Oh, Skinner from behind rolls him up. No, just the 2. Skinner goes out the ring. Oh, man, this is good. Hey, have we got the Dave Meltzer ratings? I know it's not gospel, but it's just interesting. So I actually think this is a decent match. So I want to know if Dave thought the same. Just out of interest. I don't care if he doesn't. Nothing amazing, but definitely the best ever Skinner match. Here we go. He's looking to suplex him into the ring. Skinner, he's got Brett up. Brett lands on his feet from behind, but Skinner holds onto the ropes. Skinner holding onto the ropes. Bret Hart went down. Dave Meltzer gives this 2.25. 2.25. It's better than that, Dave. Silly Dave. Bret Hart popping up. There we go. Skinner gets slammed down. Tell you, there's only 5 matches on this show. A couple of matches get 3.5 stars. Sharpshooter. Applied by Bret. There it is. Sharpshooter's applied. I think Skinner's done. Stick a fork in him. He is done. I used to like the Taboo Tuesday pay-per-views. They should do something like that again. Days, what is your favourite Undertaker match? Undertaker, Sean. Easy. Lauren says, this match is actually for the IC title. Yeah, IC title on the line. I don't, wow. Skinner's a jobber, really. So I don't know that anyone really believed he was going to win. Although the crowd certainly did. Well done, Brett. Da-na-na-na. Look at Jake. And look at Jake's ring attire there. I love that ring attire. Black tights with flames coming up. This is a real, like, sadistic Jake. I love his ring attire here. I always thought that, you know, when he had his ring attire where the snakes were coming up the side, that was a little more playful, if you will. This is just out and out sadistic Jake the Snake. And we've got a Jake the Snake promo. You were flailing like a helpless child drowning. It's always fun to think about children drowning. Did you know Macho was so worried about that snake bite that he said to Jake, you can do it, but I want to know that it's been devenomed. And Jake was like, yeah, it's been devenomed. And he went, okay, I want it to bite you. And he was like, what? Excuse me? He's like, I want it to bite you. If it's going to bite me out there, this was in the locker room. He's like, if it's going to bite me out there, it's going to bite you in here. I want to know that that snake has got no venom. And so he had to do it. Jake had to be bitten by his own snake to convince Macho. And did you know, as a result of that, apparently he was slapping the snake around a little bit. Nothing too, like, you know, outrageous. But he was just like, you know, teasing it to really get it wild up. So when he goes out there and it bites Macho, it goes for him. Because Jake winds the snake up. Because he was so angry at having to prove that it had been devenomed. A little bit. Macho Man. Elizabeth, always concerned. You get a rush, yeah. People say there's a little bit of lag, is there? Has the lag been resolved? Never mind. Okay. Right, so I think it's good now. Okay, thanks, Chris. We've got Macho. I don't know that they've ever made this Macho as in figure form. It's really colourful. I mean, there's so much going on with that outfit. It's multicoloured in the centre, but it's like neon green on his hat and the tassels. Miss Elizabeth has got a really nice gold dress. Love that Tuesday in Texas sign as well. That Tuesday in Texas sign's awesome. Macho is super focused, super angry. Randy. Here we go. No waiting around. Look, Macho comes storming down. Jake the Snake was slowly making his way down to the ring. I actually don't know where his snake is. Where is his snake? Jake the Snake. Right, big strikes coming in by Macho. Macho, million miles an hour, came bolting down the entranceway. Again, the crowd are really into it. Look at this attire. Have you ever seen a man get beaten up by another man that's got such crazy headwear? Macho has got a hat, and he's got these, like, two feathers that stick up, like, up here. It's incredible. It looks like a mohawk. Doesn't it? It looks like he's got some kind of crazy mohawk that comes up here. Oh, look. Jake's already, like, forget this. Well, he's already forgot his snake, so I don't know where the snake is. Macho jumping out of the ring. Man, he takes off his jacket, and now is just, you've got different colours going on. You've got like a red and black check, and then there's like just, it's just, man, how do you explain what that looks like to people that aren't watching? It's just like a colour explosion. But I do love Jake's attire. The flames are so good. I think they did make that actually as a figure. I think you can get that, Jake. Jake hurls Macho out of the ring. The snake was banned, says Dave. Thank you. I mean, that does make sense. I'm still amazed that Jake hasn't tried to sneak it down. He's grabbing hold of Macho, drags Macho out of the ring. Big right hand by the Macho Man. Jake gets, wow. Macho tries to hurl Jake into that ring post, but Jake reverses it. The ropes, I always like to tell you what things look like for those people that aren't watching. The ropes are red, white, and blue. The canvas, same as always. The ring aprons are just blue. It doesn't even say this Tuesday in Texas. It doesn't say WWF. It doesn't say anything. They're just blue. Ringside mats are blue. We've got railings that are exposed. And Jake is in control right now, trying to work on Macho Man's shoulder. I'm disappointed that they haven't shown footage of the build to this. This was such a red-hot feud. This really should have taken place at Survivor Series. Had a really good build. You know, Macho getting attacked at his wedding. And as the chat was saying earlier, Macho getting reinstated. And now here we are with this match, you know. I just kind of think that a nice video package summing it all up could have worked. It's not often that I call for video packages. I've seen that many in my life. I tried. How old is Jake Snake? I'm not sure. Jake Snake is in AEW now. He is. James M, shout out to you. What happens there happens here. Forever. Inverted atomic drop by Jake the Snake. Everything looks bland. I do agree. This is kind of, in a way though, this is kind of in your house, but not. And what I mean by that is that this is WWE's attempt at doing a pay-per-view that's under 2 hours, that, doesn't have the same kind of build. I don't know how much they charged for it, but I should imagine it was at a reduced price. I can't imagine they charged the same for this as they did for Survivor Series. So it's kind of, it's something that they were hoping to do a lot more of. And then obviously, 4 years later, In Your House starts. That's not on a Tuesday, in fairness. They just drop it in on a normal weekend, but same kind of thing, Reduced price, shorter run time, but still with big stars involved. You can see that Jake is trying to work on the forearm. He's trying to expose the wound. Macho has even got bandages on his forearm where the snake has bitten him. Oh, and tries for a clothesline, but Macho manages to duck underneath. Forearm strike by Macho. Macho reverses. Jake goes into the corner. Ref manages to roll out the way. Jake gets a knee up. Macho Man runs into the knee. That's why I was saying I think that backstage Tuesday in Texas sign looks really cool. Because they have actually done something for this show. They have actually gone out and at least got one sign made. Because they certainly haven't had anything else done. None of the banners say this Tuesday in Texas. None of the ring aprons or anything. It looks like they've ordered one sign. Boos are raining down for Jake the Snake as he stands on that turnbuckle. General Snotty Notty says it's just plain and simple. Swamp Manor, just tell us what it says here. Here we go. Savage looking to drop the elbow. Connects, goes for the pin. 2, 3, and he gets it. He got him. That was quick, wasn't it? That was quick. I can tell you that I did see that Dave wasn't high on this one. Dave gave it, he gave it 3 stars. Was that really better than Bret Hart Skinner? I thought Bret Hart Skinner, I don't know. But amazingly, we've got 3 matches left and we've still got the highest rated match to come. So, Macho saying he's not finished with Jake yet. He's grabbing a blue fold-up steel chair. They're stopping him from bringing that in, though. Jericho said AEW did eye for an eye first. Well, it's nothing to brag about. I think it's really stupid. I would be staying quiet on that one. That's kind of like AEW saying, we did Katie Vick first. Macho was trying to use the ring bell. DDT by Jake, though. Jake delivering a DDT to the Macho Man. Holy mackerel, says Dave in real life. I know, yeah. I love it when he says that. I love it when he says that. Holy mackerel! Jake has crawled over to the corner. Macho is down. The match wasn't the longest, so there's been a little bit after. There's a big chant for Macho. Macho, Macho. Gorilla Monsoon on commentary with Bobby Heenan as well. We should mention that. Another DDT by Jake. Another DDT by Jake. He is out cold. It's over. Get out. Referee telling Jake to leave the ring. That's the devil himself, says Bobby Heenan, talking about Jake the Snake. That's a cruel man. That is the devil himself. Jake would have made a great world champion if he didn't have his demons. So great on promos. Did we ever get Jake the Snake Bret Hart feud? I can't think that we did. Jake the Snake Bret Hart, that would have been fascinating. Did we ever get that? Actually, I really want to know now. Jake gets out of the ring. People are booing him. Smile on his face. I'm sure we must have had the match. We must have had the match. It might even have been a high-profile match that I'm forgetting, but... I can't see it. If it did happen, I can't see it. He's gone under the ring. He's grabbed a little bag. I don't remember this. Oh, is this the Viper? Is this a little snake? I can't remember this. There's a little bag here. Now, does Jake put on a glove or something? Now, look at Miss Elizabeth. Miss Elizabeth came, but she's brave, isn't she? She's brave. She came absolutely... Stop it! Oh, man, look at Elizabeth. Leave him alone. Oh. Please. God, she was so good, wasn't she? She was so good. Referee saying, why is it that Miss Elizabeth has managed to do more to keep Jake away than the ref? Macho is struggling to get up to his feet. She is. She's standing in the way here. This is fascinating. I'm like totally hooked. Totally hooked. And I've seen this show a couple of times. Look, he's going to try and do a DDT in front of Miss Elizabeth. Miss Elizabeth. Oh, and he does. In front of Miss Elizabeth. And now Jake's gone back to that gone back to that bag. And he points at the bag. Get away from him. Is he going to open the bag? Was there a snake in there? Is there a snake in there? I can't remember. Oh, I can totally see why Dave gave this 3 stars now. He has opened the bag. And he is putting a glove on. He is putting a glove on. I'll tell you why I thought he puts a glove on. because of the Mattel figure, which I have got an image of to show you. I have just found it. This is a vicious snake. Ah, kick to the side of the head. Look, there is Series 2 Elite figure. That is Jake. With the snake. That's the attire that he's wearing here. Do you know what? I didn't even know that attire was based on this Tuesday at Texas. And I think it does come with a glove. You can't see it, but I'm sure there is, like, maybe down at the bottom. I wonder if it does mention this Tuesday at Texas at the back of that box. Oh, he's grabbed Elizabeth. No! No, Jake! Although it would be cool if he DDT'd her. Oh! He slapped her! Oh, I don't know how fans aren't jumping over the railings right now. He's just slapped Elizabeth. Look, we've got another referee that's come down. Where are the other wrestlers? Thank you. Where are they? Are all the other wrestlers just backstage going, wow, I wish there was something I could do. I feel like I should do more than just standing here, but... Ooh. Look, Jack Tunney has come down. Jack Tunney? Jack Tunney, who was, I legit believed was in charge. Jack Tunney? This is before we knew that Vince owned it. I've got to get rid of this. I'm just sitting here with a figure on screen. Let me get rid of it. We never saw the snake. I don't know that there was a snake in there. Amazing. Oh, he slapped Elizabeth. I can't believe it. Oh. Honestly, if I see that, Jake. There's Pat Patterson as well. Pat Patterson, first ever IC champ. We saw him at King of the Ring, 98. Touching the derriere of Sable. Getting slapped. And here he is, look, he loves the ladies, doesn't he? Although, fun fact, he's gay. Days, what do you think about the US title? Oh, we spoke about it earlier. Where's the bite? It's covered with the bandage. The bite was quite a while ago, and the bandage has got, like, blood stains on it. Elizabeth, look, holding onto her cheek. It's those couple of referees helping Macho walk away from the ring. I mean, the match was really short. Macho Man getting the victory. I'm amazed that Macho allowed that slap. I'm amazed that he allowed that slap. He was so protective of Elizabeth. Oh. Congratulate me, Gene. Look, we've got Jake backstage. Hitting a woman. No man wants a woman that's going to grovel and beg. Yeah, I slapped her. And I'll slap you, Gene Okerlund. Mean Gene? Just adjusted the old bow tie. Just a little bit of an adjustment. Oh, dear. Maybe I shouldn't have shouted at him. When I put my hand... I would pay to do that. He said it felt so good, I would pay to do that. Oh, man, this feud was fire, wasn't it? There's been snake bites. Please bring her back. I could what? I could cultivate her into something I would want? What kind of a sentence is that? Mean Gene says, get out of here. I don't want to... Wow, he says, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to... Mean Gene, whose only job is to talk to people, says, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't know that I've ever heard Mean Gene say that before. Man, this show is fire. We had a great first match. And now, wow, this is going to work for me. Sign me freaking up because... Play the music. Bring the man down. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Amazing. Davey boy. Dun 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 dun. Here's the British Bulldog. These two feuded all throughout 91. I think... Oh, man. I want to say that they faced each other at every pay-per-view this year, but I don't know that that's true. But why have I got that in my head? Why have I got that in my head? WrestleMania 7. Let's have a look. WrestleMania 7. WrestleMania 7 was... British Bulldog against Warlord. British Bulldog, Warlord. SummerSlam. SummerSlam. British Bulldog. The Dragon. Texas Tornado against Power and Glory. And the Warlord. So they did face each other at SummerSlam. They did face each other at WrestleMania. They're facing here. At this Tuesday in Texas, Survivor Series 1991. Man, if I've just pulled that fact out of my head, that's amazing because I forget everything. The Warlord was on the other team to British Bulldog at Survivor Series. It was the Mountie, Ric Flair, DiBiase, Warlord against Bret Hart, Bulldog, Piper, Virgil. So they faced at Rumble. They faced at SummerSlam. They faced at Survivor Series. They faced here at this Tuesday in Texas. There's only one other show in 1991. That's Rumble. Let's have a look at Rumble. Royal Rumble. Oh, I'm excited. Royal Rumble 1991. Were they both in the Rumble or something? They must have both been in the Rumble. They didn't face each other on the undercard. Bulldog was in the Rumble. Warlord was in the Rumble. Well, they're saying that Warlord was only in for 1 minute 35. Well, they were technically in the Rumble match, which is the same match. So they were in the Rumble match together. They faced at WrestleMania. Faced at SummerSlam. Faced each other at Survivor Series. They faced each other at this Tuesday in Texas. Now that's a feud, isn't it? That's a feud. Although the Rumble is a little bit... It depends how you're feeling, if you're going to give me that or not. Against the ropes goes Bulldog charging into Warlord. I live in the UK and snakes aren't common. No, snakes aren't common, no. Warlord driving Bulldog into the ring post. Jerry Smith, shout out to you. Dave in Real Life says, Bulldog is announced as being from Leeds, but later he would be announced as being from Manchester. Yes. I love Bulldog's attire. It's white, but it's got like rips in. So they're white tights, but the tights are like got rips, and the bits that are exposed, rather than it being his legs, it's Union flags. Bulldog smashing Warlord's face into that turnbuckle. Bulldog going up top. Perched high. Missile drop kick. And already Davey Boy's hair is going a little bit cray-cray. But yeah, these two so big. Big clothesline by Davey Boy. He's got Warlord. Warlord is kind of getting tied in the ropes a bit here. Tied up in the ropes and big right hands coming in by Davey Boy. Davey Boy against the ropes. Ah! Tries to deliver a knee strike and Warlord moves out of the way. I've really enjoyed this show, you know. This show has been an absolute treat. There must be a market for a good hour and a half show, you know? Just under 2 hour show. On a semi-regular basis. What city is he really from? Big back body drop by Warlord. Let me have a look on Wikipedia, see where they claim him to be from. He is born in Goulburn, Lancashire. Goulburn, Lancashire. And I gotta tell you, I have never even heard of... I've lived here my whole life. All 21 years I've lived here. And I've never even heard of Goulburn, Lancashire. So, there we go. Within the Lancashire county, you've got places like Blackpool, which is where William Regal is kind of from. Builders being from. You've got Preston, you've got Blackburn, Chorley, but you haven't got Manchester or Leeds. Isn't that weird? So the actual place that he's from is neither. It's from Goulburn, and I've never even heard of it. Kick to the midsection. Nice. Power slam by the Warlord. Find the chat again. Right, Bulldog down. Warlord going over to Davey, stepping on him, walking over him, taking his time. This needed to be a shorter match. Like, this match should have been done by now. This match needed to be shorter. This is just two big guys going at it, you know? But the pace has fallen away now. Bulldog down and Warlord looking out to the crowd. Davey is the champ from the crowd. Give me what I want. A P.O. box. I know, yeah. I need to get it sorted. I have looked into it, but... Man, yeah, they are not cheap. They are not cheap. Is Vince on trial yet? No, steroid trial would be 92, 94. So not yet. Davey trying to pick up Warlord. Warlord reversing though. Davey landing. He's trying to get Warlord off his feet. Warlord doing the classic. But actually sinks down to his knees. Lovely reversal by Davey. Clothesline by Warlord. It's worth saying as well, we got Harvey Wimpleman outside the ring. A manager that doesn't get enough recognition. Proper weaselly manager. Here we go. He's going to look for the full Nelson. Warlord. He's trying to get that full Nelson on. Here we go. There it is. Yeah. Full Nelson. Full Nelson. Full Nelson. Ooh, devastating, man. So glad that's come back. It's a classic big man move, the full Nelson. Classic big man move. Because of their size and their strength and the way that they can, like, wrap their arms around and kind of like swallow the competitor. Figuratively, of course, not literally. It's kind of a cool move to put on. And yeah, I think it fits perfect for Bobby Lashley. He hasn't got it locked. The camera just showed there the fingers weren't locked. Bulldog on one knee. Days, where did you buy the Heenan family pack? I want to try and get it. I think I got it from Wrestling Shop, who had it at the time. Honestly, I mean, I'm not sure they've got it now. You could check them out. Failing that, eBay, Amazon. They have to be one of those. It's not something that I have ever seen in stores. I can't remember who won this, says Rashad. Miss Cowan 1 says, Days, what do you think they're doing with Alexa? It feels like they're not bothered anymore. I don't think they are, to be honest. I don't think she's a focus at the moment, but the great thing is that she is a great wrestler, and she will be a focus soon. Do you know what I mean? Like, when they need to position her back and bring the focus back to her, she's there when they need her. So, yeah, just not the right time for her. There's other stories they're telling at the moment. Bulldog is still in this full Nelson. This is the longest full Nelson ever, but Warlord has actually got his hands here now. I was saying, wouldn't it be really cool if you did a double underhook, but add the Kona Crush? So you're stretching the arms out. And I understand it's not going to be the same as a full Nelson where you lock, but you're still going to get a good bit of stretch. Get the arms around, but then put the crush on as well. So you kind of bringing the arms back, and you're crushing the head at the same time. So that might be a nice, 2020 variation. If Bobby Lashley is watching, or MVP, you can have that for free. I don't even want any recognition, just use it. Double underhook round. Oh, that'd be good. Warlord just throws Davey down. Davey could not get out of it. That was quite interesting for the first hour. And then as it went on, it just kind of went on a bit long. Really feel like they could shave a good chunk of time off this match. Face first goes Davey. Into that turnbuckle. The British Bulldog is the best British Bulldog. Into the corner goes Davey. Gets a leg up. Davey's shoulders are so big that he can't get his arms around to do the proper full Nelson. It's true, man. Davey was huge, wasn't he? Clothesline off that middle turnbuckle. Killer Sasuke says, I've never watched UFC, but I want to watch UFC 251. Any way to learn about the matches? Yeah, I mean, just go to the UFC YouTube. They'll put videos up telling you about the big matches in the history. And obviously, if you join us on Saturday, and that stream is going to be huge, I'll run through every match, kind of give you the bit of a backstory, things to look out for. We tend to be there or thereabouts, but obviously it's very difficult to predict who's going to win because no one can get that 100% right. If anyone could, they'd just sit at home, put millions of dollars on all the fights, and do you know what I mean? Be set for the rest of their lives. So, I mean, it's one of those. You can look at the form, you can see who's got the momentum, you can see who's got strengths, who's got weaknesses. Lovely crucifix pin. Davey wins it. Steals it, really. It was all Warlord. But, yeah, Davey gets the win there. Yeah, so, as I was saying, you can study the form. You can look at recent results. You can, say, wow, that person can get taken down really easily. This person's really good at takedowns, so they're going to get taken down. And then first few minutes, one punch, and the other person's won. Do you know what I mean? Like, It's not an exact science. I've been asking James about the cricket. The cricket is starting, isn't it, against the West Indies? Actually, I did mean to tell Mama Days, though. My internet provider is restraining access around 10 p.m. for people, so I might be able to be in other streams. My internet provider is restraining access. What do you mean, dude? For people? Well, I don't know why, but I've actually just picked up a little bit of lag, just as you were saying that. Just a couple of moments where we're backstage. I'm thinking of joining you for Fight Island. It looks awesome. Oh, dude, you do it. Here's Macho. Oh, is this the classic? Yeah. Touched a little bit. Yeah, this is iconic. I forgot this was from the show. Enjoy this. It's my fault. Look at this. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And there'll be no stopping me. I didn't even get a piece of you. Look at Sean Mooney. Sean Mooney's scared. I'm scared. I blame myself. He's gone down to his knees. He's lying down on the floor. What a promo this is. I'm gonna get you. You haven't seen nothing yet. Oh, just properly. Oh. It's not over. It hasn't even started. I blame myself. Oh, that is fire. He's slapping himself, punching himself, saying he blames himself. He goes down to his knees. He's on the floor. He touched Elizabeth. He didn't even get a piece of him. Yeah. Oh. Just proper feel it, you know what I mean? You proper feel it. You know how much Elizabeth meant. You hear all those stories about backstage and... Oh, so good. I mean, sign me up, man. Sign me up for that feud. I can't even remember where it goes. I don't think it really goes anywhere. I don't think it really goes anywhere. How disappointing. Right. We've got 2 matches left. 2 matches left. I mean, you... apart from the fact that Davey Boy Warlord went way too long. Like, they should have shaved a good chunk of time. This has been a fire show. This has been... I mean, like... Man, so good. That's one of the great promos. I blame myself. Yeah. Oh, Virgil's music as well. Oh, it's not Tito, is it? It's El Matador. Dude. BS. BS. Hopefully it's not BS. Hopefully it's going to be VS for verses. It's been ages since I heard Virgil's music. The man, the legend, Virgil? I know. Virgil used to be the bodyguard of Ted DiBiase. And he broke away. He finally had enough of being mistreated. This feud turns understand faces. That's the payoff days. This feud turns understand faces. That's the payoff. I don't understand what you mean. Rashad, I don't understand what you mean. Days, I tweeted you what Baby Otis and Mandy could look like. Thank you. This is like a Saturday night main event show, 1 hour 30. Yeah, I can see that. He loves Snake. It doesn't. Ideally, it should have ended at Mania, but they made other plans, says Robert Hall. That's true. But I don't think Macho was too upset at the fact that he ended up being in the title match. I mean, I wonder... I know the original plan for WrestleMania 8 was that we were meant to get Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. So we were meant to get Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. I wonder if it was going to be Macho, Jake the Snake. I wonder if that was the plan. Oh, I wonder if I can search for it. We've got a tag match. This is a co-main event. I've got to tell you, though. This match is the highest rated match from Dave Meltzer on this show. Out of every match we've seen so far, he gives this 3.5 stars. So I don't want to get too distracted. I want to know, what magic did Virgil, the Repo Man, El Matador, and Ted DiBiase create to get 3.5 stars? Like, this is the kind of match you go, man, this is like a 1-star match. No? This match is meant to be alright. Nice shoulder tackle there by El Matador. Nice arm drag. Beautiful arm drag. Jonathan, shout out to you, my friend. Jonathan says, do you think Nikki will win at Extreme Rules? I don't think so. Just because I would imagine that Sasha Bailey, we've got to be close to it, and I'd imagine there will be a title on the line. And I don't think they're going to take that title off Asuka. So, yeah, I think Asuka's going to retain. I think Bailey's going to retain. I mean, they could switch it. They could put it on Nikki Cross and then do Bailey Sasha without the title. That's a feud that doesn't need the belt. But it'd be better if the belt was on the line. It'd be better if the story was one of jealousy, you know? Sasha fails to get Asuka's title, so she turns her attention to Bailey's. Repo on the outside. It's worth mentioning that Sensational Sherry is outside the ring as well. Repo going for a clothesline. Clothesline by Tito. We have got just under half an hour left in this show. We're just around about 2/3 of the way through. And it has been a real treat. I've really enjoyed it so far. It's been really good. Sonny says, apparently the internet provider has a lot of people with them, so they're going to restrain access to connecting on the internet for a period of time at 10 p.m. Okay. It's a bit strange. Who is that? Virgil is desperate to get in, and he gets tagged in, jumps over the top. Virgil wants to get his hands on his former employer, of course, Virgil, the former employee of Ted DiBiase. DiBiase says, come on then. DiBiase, a good wrestler. Nice knee strike to the midsection. Quick strikes coming into the midsection as well as going up top. Against the ropes goes Virgil straight over the top. People were really into Virgil, really into this feud. The only problem was, as soon as Virgil was finished with $1 Million Man, where did he go then? Virgil unloading on $1 Million Man, who goes to the outside. Clothesline by Virgil. $1 Million Man back out the ring again. Virgil on fire. Tito, throw $1 Million Man back into the ring. Nice chop by Virgil. Into the corner goes $1 Million Man. Back elbow by $1 Million Man. Did you like Shotgun Saturday Night? I can't remember what was on it, to be honest, now. The internet provider is called Ingenious. So the internet is just going to go off and on at random times. Well, I don't think the internet is. Isn't it like just some people's connection to it? The internet is a whole network, isn't it? I mean, there's not just one person responsible for the internet. There's not one box that someone can turn on and off. So I'm guessing it's just people's access to it. There's a great scene, actually, in the IT crowd. I don't know if people have seen the IT crowd, but it's a great show. It's comedy. And there's this woman that becomes head of IT, and she doesn't know anything about computers. So the two guys that work in the office, they're like, we've got something really special to show you. She's like, what is it? And they're like, here it is. And it's this little box. And she's like, what's that? And they go, the internet. She's like, what? Yeah. That we've managed to get it from like the computer place that it's housed in. But that little box right there, you've got to be very careful. That is the internet. And it's really fun, man. I love the IT crowd. If you've never seen it, it's so funny. My mum got an email. Anna says, love the IT crowd. Big right hand coming in by Virgil. Knee strike by Repo. In comes Ted DiBiase. It is, yeah. It's really good, man. Really, really funny. Such a shame that it's not on anymore. Nice suplex by DiBiase. I should be paying attention to this show, shouldn't I? Rather than talking about IT crowd. Freaking love the IT crowd, says Sonny Wolf. Against the ropes goes Virgil. Swinging neck breaker by Virgil. Virgil trying to get over to his corner. Sensational Sherry banging on the edge of the ring. You got Repo. Desperate to get tagged in as well. So some nice action there between Ted DiBiase and Virgil. Repo's him. He tries to grab the leg of Virgil to stop him tagging Tito Santana. But Tito is tagged. Tito in the ring. Back elbow. Repo Man goes down. Don't forget, we've still got that massive main event. Nice drop kick. Undertaker, Hulk Hogan for the title. Forearm smash. Tito is on fire here. El Matador, sorry. El Matador gets tripped by Ted DiBiase. Repo throws El Matador out of the ring. This has got a lot of action, actually, and it's quite fast-paced, isn't it? This match is way better than what you was expecting. Well, I can't say that because I don't know what you was expecting, but it's way better than what I was expecting. El Matador is getting smashed into the ring steps by Ted DiBiase. Look at the gown on Sensational Sherry as well. Knee to the midsection. I want to have a look at the Sensational Sherry Mattel figure because we looked at Jake, and that was from Tuesday in Texas. Don't think this one is though. No. Stomp. It's quite similar. She's wearing like a pink big dress. Her figure is like a purple big long dress. But I think it's more when she was Macho Queen. Because she has got a crown on. Virgil trying to get in. Slam down El Matador. They are working well. What is your favourite basic? I really like Nia Jax. Which is, I know sounds strange, but I genuinely think it's a great figure. Against the ropes. Double clothesline. Both go down. Is there a Wrestling Escape Pod tonight? It gets recorded on a Tuesday and then shown on a Friday. So that is why the show is short. You know, I'd love to do like a 3-hour show like we've been doing. But yeah, I do. I've got a date with Triple T. So we are recording. DiBiase trying to stop the tag being made, but the tag is made. Virgil in, firing in some big right hands. DiBiase goes over to the corner, clothesline. DiBiase goes down, Repo goes down, DiBiase goes down. Virgil on fire. Nice. 1, 2. Double axe handle by Repo. Man, this is so fast-paced. How is this match this good? How is this match this good? Look, Sensational Sherry getting up, taking off her shoe. Wallops Ted DiBiase. DiBiase goes down. Nah, Virgil, don't hit her. Oh, she was so good. Gotta give credit to Sensational Sherry, man. She was a great wrestler as well, so she could take bumps and everything. And she was so well liked. Ted DiBiase manages to get the pin. And, yeah, just kind of carnage. Very fast-paced, that match. Loads happening. Did you see any Andre Gorilla matches? I've seen some clips. I haven't seen... I don't know that I have seen Andre Gorilla, actually. I've seen some Gorilla matches. Here's Hogan. He used to do things like the aeroplane spin a lot. His moveset wasn't the most adventurous. But he is a legend. Moments from now, you're going to be meeting The Undertaker. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. This is going to be the happiest day in the history of Hulkamania. Are you going to do a reaction stream to AEW? Yeah, we do it every week. Here, look, we're just getting a shot of what happened at Survivor Series just a few days before Ric Flair came down. And this was meant to build towards Hogan Ric Flair. Ric Flair had been a multiple-time NWA champion. Hogan had been, obviously, WWE champion a couple of times and lengthy reigns as well. Main evented WrestleManias. Made sense to collide to the two biggest names. Should have worked. And in early 1992, they were doing house shows of Hogan, Flair, and no one cared. No one cared. It should have been Hogan versus Flair at WrestleMania 8, just a few months after this. And that's not what we get. We end up getting Sid versus Hogan in the main event. Sid Justice. He wasn't Psycho then. Sid Justice versus Hogan. And we get Ric Flair versus Macho Man for the title. How are you going to cope with NXT, AEW, and UFC being on next Wednesday? I got to tell you, I have been thinking about that, and I might have to go UFC. And it might upset a few people, but it's Fight Island. So, and I don't think I'm going to be able to watch 3 shows. I might have to just cut my losses and just go for one. And if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to go with UFC because it's Fight Island. Anyway, Undertaker Have you watched Legends House? Yes. I watched it when... It was one of the first things I watched, actually, when I got the network. Main event time, my friends. Main event time. And look at this Paul Bearer leading the way. Undertaker, who's only been with the company for about a year at this point. Who is better, Sensational Sherry or Luna Vachon? Sensational Sherry for me. She was involved a lot more. She was a former women's champion. She got the title off Fabulous Moolah at the end of the 80s. Dropped it to Rockin' Robin. So she'd competed in ring. She was very good in ring, actually. You could say that she was the best of her generation. This kind of late 80s, early 90s. Sensational Sherry Martel is probably the best female wrestler. I think she did a lot of work with AWA. And yes, so not only could she wrestle, they didn't really have much of a women's division around this time, though. So that's the problem. If there was any sort of women's division here, Sensational Sherry would have been all over it. But there wasn't. There wasn't. That's the sad thing. So they used her more as a valet, but as you just saw there, you know, she's getting involved, taking off her shoes, walloping people with her shoes, heavily involved in the Macho King storyline, which was earlier in 91. She was the Macho Queen, and I honestly, I had her in my top 5 women. Top 5 women, I think, of WWE. I just think her impact was so big. Undertaker drawing some power from that urn, and Hogan has come down. And even Paul Bearer's getting a few kicks in. It's not often you see Paul Bearer having a go, but Paul Bearer and Undertaker, their heads are smashed together. Paul Bearer was like, I can do this. Let's give this a go. Start kicking out at the dead man. Into the corner goes the Undertaker. Anna Dawes says, have you seen the news that Chris Hemsworth is going to be playing Hulk Hogan? What are your thoughts? I did see that news. Yeah, I did. It was on Twitter, I think, last night. And he said it's going to be a big, big challenge for him to get his body where it needs to be. I think it's all right. I mean, to be honest, I don't really know a great deal about films. I did work in an entertainment store. I did sell movies, but I never watched them. So I can't really sit here and say, this person would be better. I think Chris Hemsworth, from what I've seen of him, I haven't seen much of his stuff, but from the images I've seen, I can see that with, you know, long blonde hair and the moustache, I think it could be all right. I just don't know if he's going to be able to get the girth. That's the only problem. The 24-inch pythons, you know? It's a different kind... I mean, when he was Thor, he was ripped, he was shredded. But Hogan's more... He's got a bit of bulk to him, you know? He hasn't just got well-defined biceps. He's got the 24-inch pythons. They're decent size. That's going to be hard. Especially considering Hogan was on steroids. And, you know, he was getting a little bit of help. Paul Bearer comes round and he's trying to refocus the Undertaker. Jack Tunney is at ringside. Jack Tunney, very unhappy with how Survivor Series had ended. Because, obviously, Ric Flair had got involved. And that just was not going to fly. That was not going to fly. Not for Jack Tunney. He wants a nice, clean result. Big strikes coming in by the Hulkster. And again, Undertaker rocked. And he drags him out of the ring. Delivers strikes to the throat. So both guys outside the ring. As we said, this is our main event. Hogan down. trying to choke him out. Look at the eyes rolling back in the head for the dead man. The eyes rolling back in the head. He is trying to choke him out here. Hogan down. Sunday in Detroit, Tuesday in Texas. Hell of a travel schedule. That's true. Undertaker getting into the ring. Kick by the Undertaker to Hogan, who's down in the ring, and he's just trying to choke him out. There's been a lot of choking. There's been a bit of action outside the ring. Definitely would have hoped for better than what we've had so far from these two. But how great to see Hogan and Undertaker fighting. Both kind of in their prime, if you will. I don't know if Undertaker's in his prime here, but a year into the business, do you know what I mean? This is classic Taker. This is Hulk Hogan, not, you know, just, 6 months or so after that WrestleMania 7 win over Sergeant Slaughter. So it's a really great time for them to collide. Just a shame, really, that this isn't a WrestleMania main event. Although saying that, if it was, there's a good chance Hogan would have won and we never would have got the streak. Or could Hogan have been the first victim of the streak? That would have been a big name. Hogan brings Taker, carries him straight across the ring, drives him into the other corner, then hurls him back to the corner they just came from. Undertaker gets his knees up. You're doing NXT AEW tomorrow? Yes. But maybe not the week after. No, I mean, tomorrow is Fyter Fest and Great American Bash Day, week 2. So, yeah, we're definitely doing that. And there is no UFC show. But the week after, UFC are doing a show on the Wednesday. And, of course, it just goes back to being a normal NXT and a normal Dynamite. So I kind of think it might make sense to just focus on the UFC show because it is just like a one-off. And it's coming from Fight Island. And UFC 251 is going to be so big. I think there will be people that are going to be buzzing from that show that will then want to watch on Wednesday. So I do think that Wednesday show is going to be a big deal. Undertaker goes back to choking Hogan. Make no mistake about it, though. It's all about this Saturday. So Hogan on his feet outside of the ring. Quite a slow pace to this. There's just been a lot of choking. Did you know Percy Pringle was a wrestler? I've seen some after Sunday stream. I didn't know that he had wrestled. No, I thought he had always been a manager. So, no, I didn't know. Into the ring post went Hogan. Very slow pace. Is UFC on Saturday or Wednesday? I'm confused. It's on both. It's on both. They've rented Fight Island and they are using Fight Island. They're getting as much usage out of it as they can. So normally it's on a Saturday, UFC. But they've chucked in an extra show. So Saturday is UFC 251. And then the Wednesday following is a fight night, UFC fight night. Paul Bearer with the urn. Undertaker going back to using this choke. It's a very slow pace match, this. Very slow pace match. A lot of rest holds, says Rashad. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they did wrestle just a couple of days before. Which I know isn't, you know, anything out the ordinary. Wrestlers do that, you know, they do house shows and everything. But, yeah, they can't have been coming into this 100%. So I think this match is suffering as a result, you know. Next Wednesday is Fight for the Fallen. Oh, is that next Wednesday? Is that next Wednesday? Not a UFC fan, so I won't be here for that watch along. Alright, it's a shame, dude. It's going to be big on Saturday. Undertaker still choking Hogan. Hogan's hand is raised and he keeps the fist up in the air. He's starting to get up to his feet. He is starting to pop up, kick to the midsection, and again by Hogan. Hogan up to his feet, against the ropes goes Hogan, duck underneath, Undertaker. Oh, Undertaker kind of fell. There's a botch. There's an Undertaker botch. Undertaker botch. He goes against the ropes and kind of stumbles a little bit. Wow. Big boot by Undertaker. Hogan goes down, but an Undertaker botch. Ring the bells. Ring the bells. Amazing. I know we've seen a few botches in Undertaker matches recently, but I can't remember too many from in his earlier days. But he's took it out of his mind. He goes right back to the urn. They've got Fight Island for the week after as well. Yeah, they've got it for a couple of weeks, haven't they? Botcher Taker, says Robert Hall. Botcher Taker. An Undertaker bot. That was quite funny how he goes against the ropes. And look. Hogan trying to get his shoulder up. Hogan getting up to his feet. Undertaker going over to the corner. Hogan has had the life choked out of him here. He's really gasping for air. Undertaker trying to go old school. Or school, as it probably was back then. I don't know if it can be old school if you're going back to 91. He's trying to walk the ropes. Hogan had it scouted. He pulls the arm. Undertaker goes down. Hogan starting to hulk up, and here comes the Nature Boy. Ric Flair is making his way down. Look at this. Jack Tunney's like, I don't want you here. And Ric Flair's like, I don't care. Undertaker trading blows now with Hogan. Undertaker back against the ropes. Big clothesline. Goes up to the outside. Lands on his feet. Hulk Hogan getting out the ring. Look, he's going round to Ric Flair. Grabs a chair. Boom! And Ric Flair falls on top of Jack Tunney. Look at that, Ric Flair falling on top of Jack Tunney. Hulk Hogan using a chair. Kick to the midsection. People excited now. Are they going to see that title change back? Undertaker gets caught with a elbow, is a bit wobbly. The title had only changed hands just a few days before. Big chop, Undertaker. Rake of the eyes by the dead man. Don't forget, this is Undertaker's first title reign. So, does it end this Tuesday in Texas? Rake of the eyes. Don't know why the ref's allowing this. Paul Bearer was in TNA. Ric Flair with a chair. Ric Flair holding the chair. Oh, but Undertaker goes into the chair. Clothesline, Flair goes down. Double cross, Undertaker. Against the ropes, big boot. People are on their feet. They're jumping around. It's pandemonium. Undertaker sitting up. Paul Bearer on the edge of the ring. There's a bit of tension to this now. Undertaker, I think, telling the ref to shut up. Oh, no. Now Paul Bearer's walloped Undertaker with the urn. What is up with these heels? Why are they so rubbish? Oh, he's emptied out the urn. Hogan's emptied out the urn. Right in his face. Oh, no. The 2, 3, and he gets it. Hogan empties out the urn, throws it in the face. That might have been like Auntie Gladys or something. Auntie Gladys emptied out, thrown in the face of the Undertaker. Well, it's no good showing him the urn now. There's nothing in it. Hogan gets the title back. Undertaker's first reign lasts days. Mere days. That's my new name. Hogan with the winged eagle. Jack Tunney is having words. Bobby Heenan is like, Tunney, Hogan cheated. Hogan cheated. Hogan posing. Hogan getting that title back from The Undertaker. He's got to restart the match, says Bobby Heenan. And look at this. All his hands have got Gladys all over him. Whilst he's there posing away. Do you know what I mean? What babyface throws a loved one's ashes in the face of a man to win a title and then celebrates and gets cheered? You gotta love wrestling. You gotta love wrestling. I mean, that clearly was something or someone, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Fire! Fire! 1991 Titan Sports. All rights reserved. And all the fans are like, yeah! And he's like, yeah! Gladys is going everywhere! Gladys is being shared around the whole stadium. Unbelievable. Scenes this Tuesday in Texas. So Undertaker's reign didn't last long. Do you want to know what reign was even shorter than Undertaker's reign? Undertaker's reign, I think, was I don't know what the actual days are in between Survivor Series and this Tuesday in Texas. I think it's about 6 days, something like that. 6 days. Undertaker's first title reign lasts 6 days. Do you know how long Hulk Hogan holds that belt for? 1 day. 1 day. Because the very next day, Jack Tunney on the Superstars of Wrestling comes out and says that he is appalled at what happened at Survivor Series and the fact that Ric Flair got involved. And he is appalled at what happened at this Tuesday in Texas when Gladys was thrown in the face of The Undertaker. And the fact that neither match resulted in a clean finish. And so as a result, he strips Hogan of the belt. He takes the belt off of Hulk Hogan and strips him and is no longer the champion. The reign is still recognised, though, I believe. They do still class it as a title reign for Hogan. I'm just looking at Wikipedia now. I've got the reigns in front of me. Yeah, I mean, it classes Undertaker as the 17th champion and Hulk Hogan's reign as the 18th title reign. So he takes the belt off Hogan the very next day and he says that the winner of the Royal Rumble will get the championship. And that's how we then get to Royal Rumble 1992 and the winner will be crowned champion because he's taken it off these two very naughty boys. I think we can all agree. 2 little troublemakers right there they are. 2 little troublemakers. So, Bob Backlund has got the shortest reign. Has he got the shortest reign? Is his reign shorter than a day? Is his reign shorter? I know the match was short. Bob Backlund held it for 3 days. So he won at Survivor Series and then he drops it 3 days later to Diesel at a house show. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? That is kind of crazy. Isn't it weird that they put the belt on Bob, and then Bob dropped it to Diesel? Isn't that weird? Just 3 days later. Why didn't they just do Diesel, Bret Hart? I suppose it could be like face versus face, wouldn't it? And it wouldn't really make a great deal of sense back then, but so weird to just have a 3-day title reign. Anyway. And that match was what? How many seconds? Does it even say? I don't even know. How many seconds that match was. That Diesel house show is like one power bomb, and that's it. Anyway, we're getting distracted. Let's go back to the chat. Did people get your scores in? Get your scores in. You know your scores. Get them in. I'm sure you already have, but I never saw them. Hogan has 5 title reigns. 7.5 out of 10, says Dave in real life. 8, says Jerry. Elaine with an 8. Andre had the shortest reign. Yeah, Andre, that's true. Andre's reign was next to nothing. When did they... Andre won it from Hogan at the main... I think it was called the main event. And he then surrendered it minutes later, didn't it? You're right. He surrendered it to the $1 Million Man. But you can't do that. You can't give the belt to someone. That's not allowed. So when he basically surrendered it to someone, he basically surrendered it, which is how we then get to WrestleMania 4 for the championship tournament at WrestleMania 4. So yeah, good knowledge. Well done. 5, 8.5, 7.75, 6.5, 8.7, 8, 6.5, 7.47, 7.9. I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed this. I can't believe how much I enjoyed it, actually. I am actually going to give it an 8. I'm toying between an 8 and an 8.25. I'm going to stick with an 8, I think. But I really could go 8.25. And I'll tell you why. Because I thought Bret Hart Skinner was actually a decent match. And I was surprised at how good it was. Maybe the best Skinner match I've ever seen. So I really enjoyed the opening match. Like, that gets a tick from me. Then we move on to Macho Man and Jake the Snake. And honestly, you can get a couple of ticks there. Because, all right, the match was short. There wasn't really a great deal to it. But man, what happened after was absolutely incredible. What happened after was amazing. Jake and Miss Elizabeth pleading and all of that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And then he slaps Elizabeth, which is shocking. I mean, it's kind of shocking to look at now, but can you imagine 1991? A man slapping a woman in the ring. Oh, I tell you what. So, yeah, that incredible. Promos. I mean, I don't even know how many points I'm giving this show just for that Macho Man promo. What a promo. I blame myself, yeah. And he's slapping himself and punching himself. And he's talking about how he didn't even get a little piece, but he's going to get a piece of Jake the Snake. So good. That promo is one of the best promos. So good. In fact, we did a little segment on best promos on Wrestling Escape Pod. And when we actually do a full best promos episode, I've got to remember to include that. Because I didn't know it was on that show. It's a promo I've seen a few times, and I would have seen it on that show. But yeah, I didn't know it was on that show, but really enjoyed that. Bulldog Warlord was all right. It wasn't a disaster. It just went on a little bit long. So you could maybe take a mark off for that. Meltzer gave that tag match 3.5 stars, and I did enjoy it. I thought it was very strong, very good. And then the main event was a bit of a sleeper, so take a mark off for that. But there was drama at the end, wasn't there? You didn't know which way it was going to go. And you can kind of imagine that if you was watching at the time, and Hogan had lost the title just a few days before at Survivor Series, and if you've never seen that Survivor Series, you've got to watch it, because throughout the show, they keep talking about this Tuesday in Texas. And it's so interesting seeing them talking about this Tuesday in Texas. It's so weird seeing them going on about this other show that's coming just a few days later. I mean, that's weird even now, isn't it? Could you imagine if you tune into Extreme Rules? And Extreme Rules, they're going, welcome to Extreme Rules. Make sure you join us in a couple of days because we've got Extremer Rules. Extremer Rules coming up just on Tuesday. We've got Extremer Rules. Make sure you join us for that. Like, I don't know why it was so close. I don't know why they couldn't have given it just a couple of weeks to have, breathed. Just giving it a little bit of, breathing space. Why did it have to be so close? Why did it have to be so close to Survivor Series? I don't know. Because if you think about it, you work hard, put your money down, you buy your pay-per-view for the month. Back in those days, they only had 4 pay-per-views. They had Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. That was it. So, you put four times a year, you pay WWE to have the pay-per-view. So why did they freaking think that... let's chuck another one in. Just a few days later. Like, it would make more sense to do it on a month, a different month, where, people have got a bit of money they might be able to spare. Another pay packet that they can, budget for another show. So I can't say I'm too surprised that it didn't land, but I don't think you can look at the quality of this show and say, it just didn't work, I don't think you can look at the quality of the show and say, it was just a car crash, a disaster. I can understand why it didn't work. I just think the timing wasn't quite right. So, really, I really enjoyed it. I wanted to just have a show, a pay-per-view that was just quite quick. And I was like, we could do like In Your House. So I was really tempted to do Canadian Stampede for today. And I think that might be a show that we will watch at some point because it is a great show. And then I was thinking like Taboo Tuesday, but Taboo Tuesday's like 2.5 hours or whatever. And I just wanted a little summit, just a little summit. I'm really pleased we did this show. So interesting going back and watching this one. I'm really pleased we did it. And I think what's going to stick with me is that Macho promo. That's the big thing I'm taking away from this. That Macho Man promo. Really fire. So. Right, well, anyway, we're done, my friends. We are done. Thank you to everyone that joined us. Really do appreciate the support. And we are back tomorrow, as we said. We are back for NXT AEW. Thursday I'm not around, but there will be videos on the channel. You don't need to worry about that. I'm not going away. I'm just not streaming. The 100 days are done, and I'm not looking. I was never looking to get to 100. So I certainly wasn't looking to get to 200 or anything more. So I'm quite happy to call it quits. So we're gonna end on a high tomorrow. We're gonna end the run on a high with 2 big shows at the same time. Week 2 of Great American Bash, and of course that champion versus champion NXT Keith Lee taking on Adam Cole. Promises to be very exciting. So we're going to be watching that. And then on Thursday, I'm really going to knuckle down, do some proper hardcore research. I want to go back, really look at some of the fights and get ready for this weekend. This weekend, UFC 251. Fire. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the support. Thanks a lot for watching. And hopefully, see you again next time. Bye for now.